Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nini and today we're doing another sketchbook session, kind of, sort of. So sorry that I've been gone for, I think it's been like a month now. I don't even know. So sorry about that. I was very sick for a time and school was happening, so sorry about that. But yeah, today we're doing a sketchbook session. I'm almost done with the sketchbook, so excited, and I'm really excited to film the sketchbook tour soon. I think I have like 4-5 spreads left in my sketchbook, but that's neither here or there. Today we're going to be doing a sketchbook session with my Prismacolor color pencils, and if you like this content, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and maybe going to follow me on Instagram, and joining the Discord. We would love to have you there. And without further ado, let's get started. So like I was saying before, I had a lot of stuff going on. I got very sick for like a whole week, I think. I don't know what it was, but I lost my voice, so I couldn't do any voiceover, and I was just like feeling pretty bleh in general. And I'm like in my final exam period right now, so it's been a lot of work, a whole bunch of stuff piling on like towards the end of the semester, so I just haven't had the time to do voiceover, or like haven't had the energy to do like editing for my videos. I have quite a few more vlog videos that I want to upload, but I just haven't had the time or the energy. So now that school is finally almost over, I only have one more exam like right now as of recording this audio. But yeah, school's almost over. I'm gonna try to do more videos for the summer. Like Mermaid is coming up soon, so I hope to do some videos regarding that with my characters that I made, I think 2 years ago, which I'll be posting the speed paint of one of the art pieces that I made last year to my YouTube channel now, because I forgot to post it last year, and because that piece I think I finished in June rather than May, so I'm gonna be uploading that video soon, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But yeah, I'll talk about that a bit later. But for now, I just wanted to talk about what we're doing on the actual sketchbook. So I'm sketching my two characters, Manguo and Pepper, in their cat forms. For those of you that are new or just don't know my characters yet, Manguo is the yellow cat, and Pepper is the white brown cat with the green collar. So Manguo and Pepper are owned by my characters Zara and Serenity, and Manguo was initially owned by Zara, and then Pepper was adopted when Zara and Serenity moved in together in an apartment. So I just wanted to draw a cute little illustration of them sleeping together in the sun. And for this video, it is not just my sketchbook that I'm drawing them. I also drew an illustration of them digitally in Studio Paint. So if you want to skip to that, I'll put the timestamp on the screen. But yeah, it was really interesting doing this sketch illustration because I haven't used my colored pencils in a while. I think I used them like towards the beginning of the semester for a drawing assignment, but I didn't use my Prismacolors. I used these Sargent color pencils, which weren't really good. They were very, what's the word? Pale? Not very saturated, I guess. And they weren't like soft cores like Prismacolors. So I wanted to test out my Prismacolors again in this sketchbook illustration spread. And I think I used my Prismacolors like once when I was in Korea last year in this sketchbook. But otherwise, you won't see very many colored pencil sketches in this sketchbook. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. It was very interesting because I don't like doing full illustrations with colored pencils. I think it's very hard to blend colors together. But I think that I can see a little bit of improvement because of what I've been doing in my life drawing classes. But yeah. So if you've been watching my past few videos, you would know that I'm like kind of dissatisfied with my art. Actually, I think I say that like pretty much almost every year. Now that I think about it. But yeah, I've been feeling pretty dissatisfied with my art recently. And so now I'm kind of in this experimental period, which is why I'm doing this sketch in this video. I don't usually draw things like this. It's usually just character art without like any kind of environmental element, which is something I'm trying to get out of the habit of doing. So this is basically the beginning of that era of my art. Like recently I finished up my life drawing class and we were supposed to do an environmental, I think it was like people in the environment kind of project. So I decided to draw one of the pictures that I took when I was in Korea, and I really liked drawing people and an environment. So I decided to pivot my art a little bit and try to learn more about environmental integration with my character art. And that's something that I hope to do this summer. It's going to be a very busy summer for me. I'm trying to look for a job while also trying to do YouTube more. So that's going to be very interesting. Hopefully I won't be too burnt out like I am with school. But I think that's mostly because I do art in school. So a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, I'm trying to experiment a bit more. You'll see it with my digital art too, with like the Speedpaint for the second half of this video. But I just feel very dissatisfied with my art recently, because it's like I'll only draw people like facing forwards, or like just like a I don't know how to describe it. It's like very two-dimensional and not like an actual scene, if that makes sense. Like I don't even know why. I feel like I've regressed in my art. Like you'll see in the Speedpaint video that I upload for my mermaid illustration from last year. But I feel like my recent digital art, or just like art in general, just wasn't hitting as well as the one that I made last year. So I hope to remedy that with my next sketchbook, which I'll probably be working on during the summer, now that I'm almost done with this sketchbook. So I've been pretty much experimenting not only with like poses and environmental stuff, but also with the material that I'm using. So I've gotten back into using charcoal because of my life drawing class, and I've also gotten back into using graphite, which is not something that I usually use. I usually rely on pen and markers for my sketches in my sketchbook, but I'm trying to get back into using like the dry media, like color pencils and that kind of stuff. I've also reactivated my gouache set, my Himi gouache set, so that I'll be able to do some more gouache paintings this summer, which is something that I hope to do. I have another sketchbook going on, which is kind of a surprise for a project that I'm doing, a personal project, but I'll do a sketchbook tour of that at some point. But also digitally, I'm trying to experiment with the brushes that I find in the Clip Studio asset store. So I've recently been using this oil painting brush and like this dry oil paint brush. I don't remember who the brush is by. I'll probably put it up on screen if I can, or just like list it down below in the comments or the description. But I have been having a whole bunch of fun experimenting with the brushes. You'll see it in the Speedpaint after this portion of the video. Yeah. I definitely want to be able to do some more life studies in my next sketchbook. Especially because my next sketchbook, it has thicker paper than this current sketchbook that I have, which is a Talens art creation sketchbook. And so I can do more watercolor and like color studies and like use more mixed media than this current sketchbook, which kind of like isn't the best for water-based media and kind of like rips up with markers too. So I really want to do some more environmental sketches and like some more gestural drawings, which is something that I've come to love because of my life drawing class. That class is so good. I definitely recommend taking a life drawing class if you're trying to do character art. It'll definitely help you with anatomy and with like just posing in general. I think it's very good for future character artists. So we're coming up at the end of the sketchbook portion of the video, and honestly, I really like this one because of the bright colors that I use, like compared to the digital version. That's just Prismacolors for you, I guess. I did think that I did pretty well with the blending on Pepper, and how I like how warm Mango is. But yeah, that's the end of this portion. I really like how it turned out. And now we'll just move on to the digital part. So don't mind the little me in the corner. I was live streaming pretty much the entire process of this. So if you want to see the live stream, it's in my live stream playlist, I think. So I decided to approach this drawing digitally through traditional methods because I've been doing a lot of oil paintings recently because of my directed studies class that I took this semester. And I gotta say, I really like this method actually. I don't usually go through this kind of method. You'll see what I'm talking about later. But I added a few more things to this composition compared to the traditional one by adding the toy mouse, the bottom of the easel, a painting rag, and some of those little fluffy ball toys that my cat likes to play with. I can't speak. But yeah, I approached this as an oil painting by doing the underpainting, just trying to figure out where the shadows and the highlights are. And then I decided to just go and wing it with the colors. You can see that I'm using the, I think it's the oil paint brush that I'm using right now. And I add a few more brushes later on to this, to my brush set, the dry oil paint brush, and then like the super dry oil paint brush, I think it's called. But yeah, I had no idea what I was doing with these colors. I just decided to wing it, and like I didn't use my reference image for my humanoid Mongo character design. I just decided to just wing it with the colors. And honestly, the colors didn't exactly turn out how I thought they would because I was mainly looking at my drawing tablet instead of at the actual screen of my computer, so the colors can be a little bit off. So this style of painting is kind of like similar to what I do traditionally with my oil paintings. It's more of a conceptual style than a finished painting look, which is something that I kind of have been trying to do in the past, where I want to bridge the gap between my traditional and my digital painting styles. I think that it worked pretty well actually. I feel like I could replicate this through oil painting. I really like how it looks overall. There isn't very much to say for this part of the video, except that I just wanted to do, I just wanted to make a traditional drawing digital, which is something that I hope to do a lot more in the future. I have quite a few thumbnail sketches in my sketchbook that I would like to turn into digital pieces, but I just hadn't had the time, but now I have the time, so hopefully I'll get to do that. Something else that I really like about this style is that I'm not relying too much on line art, which is something that I have been trying to do for a while now. Actually, I used to do it in the past, but then I was like, I need to get better at line art, so I need to do line art. But now I'm like, okay, I'm pretty okay at line art now. So I'm going back to my roots and just making a full painting. So I do come back a little bit with that brown color, but that's just to make it more distinct and stand out from the rag underneath Pepper, which is something that I do in my traditional art anyways. Also, as you can see on the right, I'm not using that many layers for this drawing. I do one layer for the underpainting, one layer for the initial sketch, and then the layer that I'm currently on, which is all of the coloring, all of the rendering. If I had to choose between digital and traditional art, I would choose traditional art, but I think one thing that is really helpful in digital art is that you can flip the canvas. I mean, I know that you can hold a mirror up to your traditional art and see how it looks flipped, but I like that this digital software helps you to do that with ease, I guess. Gotta say, I really love how this mouse turned out. I think I'm gonna do a few doodles about it in my sketchbook. Another thing that I really like about digital art are the blending modes that they offer. I usually like to have an overlay layer over all of the rendering to provide some sort of like color matching aspect to the illustrations that I make. In this case, I wanted the illustration to be a bit warmer, so I added this orange overlay layer to the entire piece. And like I said before, I'm experimenting a whole bunch with the different brushes that are available in the Clip Studio Asset Store. So I went on their asset store and downloaded a whole bunch of free brushes that they have there. And I decided to go with this really nice hexagonal brush that they have that like provides a sense of like falling light particles, I guess. And then I go back into rendering the illustration a bit more. And for the final touches, I begin to add the highlights and a little bit more color rendering to help provide a bit more contrast to the piece. I really enjoy how this piece turned out overall. I think that in this instance, this illustration turned out better than the traditional one, but it's usually the other way around. I really enjoy how colorful it is. I really need to experiment a bit more with color digitally and experiment a bit more with brushes. I really enjoy how this oil painting pretty much turned out. So that's the end of the video. If you like this content, please consider subscribing, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!